next, it's time for Truth or Fake. Catalina Marchand Abreu is here in studio. Catalina, in tonight's edition, we'll be reviewing online claims that Donald Trump declared that he would be excluding completely the EU from Ukraine peace talks. Talk us through that.
Here are the claims going around, Sharon, mostly shared by pro-Russian accounts on X, claiming that Donald Trump would have ruled out any participation of the European Union in the Ukraine peace talks. According to these users, the U.S. President Donald Trump allegedly declared during a CNN interview on February 16th, "It will just be me and Putin." He will not invite representatives of Europe, as he allegedly also says, "I will not negotiate with anyone who wants to prolong the conflict or send weapons." In this post, seen over 1.4 million times on X, similar claims were also made on this post by Camille Moscow, known for her pro-Russian stance on X, as pro-Russian misinformation as well. So some pretty harsh statements made against the European Union by Donald Trump, according to these claims, allegedly a further blow to this transatlantic alliance that is already suffering after American Vice President J.D. Vance's controversial statements during this weekend's Munich Security Conference, where he criticized European nations for their stance on slippery subjects as is freedom of speech and migration. A 20-minute speech that was met with a backlash and shock by European leaders, as J.D. Vance alluded to a divergence in shared values between the European Union and the United States.
And Catalina, did this interview with CNN actually take place? What have you found out?
No, Sharon, President Donald Trump never made these claims, nor did he ever grant this interview to CNN, a fake interview that actually never happened. If you take a look at CNN's website or at CNN's transcripts from February 16th, when they allege that this interview took place, this search for this interview on their website yields absolutely no results. We also contacted CNN, who confirmed to us that they never carried out this interview with President Donald Trump. Finally, if you take a closer look to the photo that was added on these posts on X, you can find the online signature Grok on the bottom of these images, which is X's and Elon Musk's AI chatbot. Hence, this photo was also created using artificial intelligence. So a fake photo and disinformation created by pro-Russian accounts on X, who are already trying to mess with this already now fragile transatlantic alliance between the U.S. and the EU. Sharon.
And Catalina, finally, what has been said so far by the United States about Europe's position at the negotiating table for those peace talks for Ukraine?
Well, the Trump administration has actually made a series of contradicting statements when it comes to the participation of the EU in the negotiating table. On Saturday, February 15th, Keith Kellogg, who is Trump's special envoy for Ukraine, declared that Europe will not be present at the table for the peace talks. Well, on the next day, on February 15th, the U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio made a complete opposite statement, saying that Europe would be part of any real negotiations, he says, to end the war in Ukraine, meaning if talks do advance, that Ukrainians and other European nations would be brought into the mix. So as some have already are making this false claim that President Donald Trump declared that he has already reached an agreement with President Putin to end the war in Ukraine. Such agreement has not yet been made. There are no credible reports that indicate such a statement from Trump, while our fact-checking colleagues at Misbar have found that the President Trump did indicate on his Truth Social on February 12th that him and Putin have merely agreed to have their respective teams start negotiations immediately. So they have only agreed on starting negotiations to end the war, as the United States and Russia have confirmed that their top delegates will meet in Saudi Arabia this week to discuss the end of the war in Ukraine, a move that has sparked concern amongst European leaders who have been left out of this U.S.-led effort, despite European lawmakers insisting that they should be part of any future negotiations regarding Ukraine's fate.
Catalina, thank you so much for taking us through all of that. Catalina joining us there with tonight's Truth or Fake. Well, that is it from us for now. Do stay with us, though. We'll be right back with more World News.